I titled today's video about making up stuff in your head and worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet, which is a bit of a time waster. And hands up, so use the comments, hands up if you've created a scenario for the future in your life. Maybe you've seen something, you're like, oh my God, and it creates this picture of what you don't want, and you get a bit involved in it, and it creates an emotion in you. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's, they're probably going to be fear that you're going to lose something, fear that you might lose a relationship, money, your own life or somebody else's life, who knows. Like, I've been down this road several times where I've made up a story and played out the what if scenarios of what I don't want to happen. Hey Haley, and good. And it's really easy to get involved with. We are so geared to go down that path. We've probably been told, you think about it, don't do that, you might fall. Don't do this, you might hurt yourself. So we've been geared to look for the dangers and play the what if scenario and make up a picture about something that we do not want to happen. So I know that there's a few of you that have done that. Now I want you to think about those feelings that you create when you play those what if games and go through the whole path. Like, you can make up a whole story and you don't even have to leave your bed. You can be, and think about the feeling that it creates in you. What is that feeling? Can you put a name to it? So is it powerlessness? Is it lack of control? Is it hatred? Is it anger? Is it frustration? What is the feeling or feelings? Can you put a name to them? Then if you can, and put them in the comments if you can, then if you can put a name to them, your job then throughout the day is to feel those as least amount of possible. Do not let yourself go there. So then what you need to do then is go, hang on a moment, what do I want? What do I truly want? And I'm sure it's not going to be that picture that you've just created. So you've got to really get really clear on what it is that you want. And then what will that feeling be? What will that scenario be? So you make up a story of what would be the easiest and best way for this to happen. This is using your imagination. And so then when you've made up a different what if that you actually want to happen, then you really hook into those feelings. What are those feelings? Understand what they are. There's going to be joy. There's probably going to be gratitude. There's going to be appreciation. There's going to be love. There's going to be laughter and fun. What are the feelings? And then instead of feeling those other feelings of your what if scenario that you don't want, you've got to keep swapping over to these ones. Now, you're going to get some things happen throughout the day that maybe bring in frustration. You're like, oh, that's the feeling of what I don't want. Okay, now I need to get over to the feeling of what I do want. And that's what you have to do most of the day if you want to create your goal with ease. Now, I had somebody tell me the other day, Polly, you got to stop telling people what to do. Well, if I just asked you to do something, would you do it? And sometimes when you get told to do something, you don't want to do it as well. I'm a big thing of that. You should do this. I'm like, you can get stuffed. I'll do what I want. So, with that in mind, do you think it would be more beneficial for you to stop feeling the feelings of what you don't want, of the story that you created? Because you don't get what you want. You always get more moments for you to feel the feeling that you were just broadcasting. So the feeling that you were just putting out there, you get more moments to feel that. So if it's fear, you will just attract to you more moments for you to feel fear. So do you think it would be more beneficial for you to swap over to feelings of what you do want? So practicing gratitude each day. So you're getting into that. And don't just practice it in the morning. Practice it throughout the day. Especially, like, I think down south where it's a bit colder, I'm I think it was 10 degrees one night while we were fishing, which was pretty cold for us. And I tell you, these people that go camping, I don't understand, that go camping in the rain and the really cold weather. And yeah, it's probably not my favorite thing to do. Anyway, it was quite chilly, and I don't even know where I was going with that. See, really good today, aren't I? Go away fishing for a weekend. But the feeling of can't get warm. When I was out in the sun, I had so much gratitude for the sun. So it's like, oh, that's so nice. And especially when I'm down in Adelaide or away somewhere else where it's colder, that sun, I have so much gratitude for it. So start to really think about, well, do you think it would benefit you more to start to think about, this is a feeling of what I don't want. What is the opposite? And it's normally going to be the opposite. What is the opposite feeling? And what can I think about to create that feeling in my body? What can I do? So be having a gratitude practice. Maybe making up stories in your head, because everything it really is just a story and you're making it up anyway. So playing around with ideas of what you do want. Staying in charge of your emotions. If you're here, say hi. You are the only thing that you can control. You cannot control anybody else. You cannot control what anybody else is doing or saying or thinking. However, you can broadcast yours, and you do that with your brain. It transmits and receives frequencies, and you will always transmit and receive in the same vibration. So if you transmit anger, you will receive more moments for you to feel anger. You will receive moments or opportunities for you to receive anger or feel anger. So this is where you've got to go, hang on a moment, I could get angry here, hey Beverly, or I could change this and change my perception about this and use my higher mental faculties and look at this situation and go, how can I look at this differently? Now, I've been teaching this to a few people close to me, and there were some people around us on the weekend, and we were having a conversation last night, and the conversation was, gee, you can have so many different perceptions in one moment, can't you? And I'm like, yes, Ryan, you can. Oop, just gave it away. And he's like, well, yeah, because this happened, and this person saw this, and this person saw this, and this person heard this, and this person heard this. It was all different. I said, yeah. And everybody is going to make up an opinion from what they saw, thought they saw or heard and felt, and through their own belief system it gets filtered through, so they're all going to have different opinions of the same thing. This is why you can't believe what anybody says, really. It's all it is their perception. Very eye-opening, very eye-opening, and such a great learning thing. So this is exactly what's happening with us. You see something, and maybe you have a conversation. You can have a conversation with somebody. They will have a whole different idea of the conversation than you did. You got this out of it because your belief system is your filter, and this is how it got filtered through when you were there. And then they've got a whole different belief system, so it got filtered through a whole different way. You got two people in the same instance at the same conversation have a whole totally different outlook on it. Some can think it's good, some can think it's bad. And that's where you get to decide, am I going to look at this as negative, or am I going to look at this as positive? And if I looked at it as positive, what do I need to think differently? How do I need to act differently? This week is attitude. Your thinking always creates a feeling. Always. Feelings just come attached to thoughts. And then your feelings automatically create your action. You think about that. You hear a word and you feel maybe a negative thing to it, then your action will be just shut up, don't say that word again, or do not say that, or you get angry, or just have a look. And your attitude and with your actions, so your thoughts, your feelings and your actions create your attitude, which goes out into the universe. And you will get back exactly what you put out. So you'll get more like thoughts, more of the same feeling, and you probably do more of the same action. This is why people get in that hamster wheel. They go round and round and round. They keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they think, why aren't I getting, is life getting any better? Because you keep doing the same thing. You keep thinking the same thoughts. I know some people that have been telling me a story for 42 years, and it is not a happy story for them. And their life has been in a loop for that time. All they have to do is change their perception on the story, change the way they look at it, and they'll start to feel differently, act differently, get a whole different set of results. Because your action sets up a reaction, and that's when you get something back on the physical. The rest is all on the spiritual side of you. So you think differently, you get different thoughts. You feel differently, you get different feelings. Feeling creates the action, you act differently. So have a think about this today. Maybe, would it be beneficial for you to think about this today? And start to look for areas that you can turn up differently. I can think differently, I can feel differently, and I can act differently. What are some of the different areas that I could do these things? So I'll leave you with that. It was a bit of a 2-day live there for you all. Have a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you all later.